So I was drawing my Sonic OC the other day for one of my daily draws, and I drew my little chow character, Ochao. And I thought to myself, you know, my precious little baby, I gave him the super sad story, because every OC's got a super sad story, at least the ones from that time in my life. And I thought I just wanted him to be okay, just wanted to give him a hug. And then I remembered that I'm an adult person with a weird amount of fabric at my disposal and the ability to make stuffed animals. So that's what we're gonna do today. Let's do it. This is what I got material-wise. Thinking I might do drafts in paper. I got oodles and oodles of paper and this, so yeah. Let's get to it. First step was to clean up the area a little bit, and you'll never guess what happened. So I could have taken what I had already drawn on the iPad into like a FedEx and had them like print it out on paper for me, but that sounded like a pain, so I just decided to freehand it. I kind of just eyeballed most of the proportions. It's something I'm pretty decent at. I'm not sure why I've developed this skill, but I'm glad I can do it. So I'm gonna need more paper because this needs to be longer, and I'm gonna show you how I know that. Well, I know that is because our hand is what's gonna go here. And I've made enough of these in my life that I know that the circumference isn't gonna be equal to that line. Okay, we got this long-ish of a circumference, right? That's gonna go about halfway around this hand. So we're gonna need to about double this guy. Yeah, let's do that. So normally when I make stuffed animals, I'll do my original pattern on fabric and then just sew up my pattern to get an idea of the shape, but I had scrap paper. That was a good size, so I used paper for this one. I brought a Valentine's cupcake. It is delicious. Definitely. Messy. Okay. I just got new headphones, so I'm gonna listen to music, so I'm gonna do that. When I said I was going to listen to music, what I wanted to do was listen to the Chow Garden medley from the Sonic Adventure 2 soundtrack. Yes, I did have the actual CD as a kid, don't ask me why. It's because my brother had it. But I couldn't find it anywhere on the internet. So there is the ochao. I gotta get them on the fabric, trace them out, cut them out, put them together. And then see just how weird it looks. I accidentally kept a lot of trash in with my patterns. That was real confusing. Okay. So this body piece here, what you're seeing on the paper down here, and that is like a fourth. That would be like cut his stomach in half, and then in half again where his arm hits. That's what we're looking at here. So I need 4 of these. But the back ones are gonna have a different dart to give it a different shape. Okay, that's what we're doing. Now you may have noticed there's a very large stomach-shaped hole in that pattern that I put on both the front and back piece. Yeah, keep that in mind for later. Well, I didn't know how many of these head panels I needed to cut out. I cut out 4. Turns out that's how many I needed, so that worked out well. Also, pro tip, if you need to check the circumference, you can just roll it along the edge of your other pattern, like so. I said before that I have a decent amount of practice with this particular pattern. That's because this is the exact pattern, well, not exactly, because of course I remade it for this one, but this is the pattern that I used to make hooves for pony plushies, which is a thing I have made in the past and may make again in the future, so tune in if you're into that. The sun's going down, so I'm going to turn the light on. All the pieces in the white are done. We're gonna do blue, and then blue, and then I haven't decided if I want this yellow, if I want to find a different yellow, so we'll figure that out. Let's do it. So I did end up listening to, while I was working on this, was Chow Garden ASMR. Only problem is they were standing around Chow Garden at night, so all I could hear was crickets. Drove me kind of nuts after a while. I wanted to use this color for the tummy, but it's not gonna work, so looks like it's gonna be the same kind of teal. Oh, you know what? Ooh, I could use this for the tummy color, and then have the ears be a different. Okay, let me test some stuff. So while I did end up going with the teal color for the stomach, I did find a different material for the ears. I did not like the material I had. It was like a super thin, crappy flannel. All right, with that, he is cut out. Now we just sew them together. Let's do it. Day 2 of this particular project. We got the sewing machine set up. I just gotta get the stuff and get to it. Let's do it. So with any project like this, it's a total crapshoot if your pattern is gonna work or not. I decided to start out with the ears because that was the part of the pattern I was most confident would work like I planned it. And honestly, I wasn't wrong. We've just sewed our first piece, and as you can see, the sewing machine's not playing nicely with me. I might actually have to go out and get one of those spray canisters to clean it out, because I've been sewing Minky on it, and this is what happens when your sewing machine's clogged. Just so you know, if you start getting this on your sewing machine, open up your bobbin compartment and clean it out with an air sprayer, because that's usually what's wrong. But we're gonna flip it inside out and see if my shapes are good before I sew these darts in, and then if my shapes are good, we're gonna sew the darts in. And you know what? It's not looking bad. Okay, let me go in and add those darts and change this shape up a little bit, and we'll see if we can get it looking nice. My sewing machine gave me so much trouble during this project, y'all. The thread tension was off, it kept getting stuck and caught and doing way too many loops. It was just a mess. We've got a decent shape going on here. I want this pink part to be a little thinner, more like yay thick, and a little lower if I can get it. So we're gonna cut that down, but I need to seam rip it first, and I don't have a seam ripper, and I need to get the thing to clean this. So I guess I'm gonna go shopping, and then I'll come back and finish it up. If you see how loose and weird these seams are, it's because of this crap that's going on the inside, which I need to clean out my machine to fix that. I decided I want to stuff it to see how the shape is. I just need you to know that stuffing fresh out of the box is still square. Which is one of my favorite things. But then the moment it gets there, it just kind of... Like oh, I am.
Wait,
yeah.
Wait for me, I'm almost done.
Oh, you want to see?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, little fish out.
Okay. Ready?
Yes.
Receive air.
Receive air.
Receive the air.
It's already like double.
I know. So, yeah, we do have stuffing to stuff him, so that's one less thing that I need to buy. Okay, let's see how our shapes are. Like I said, not doing bad. Like I said, I want more of like a like in front kind of look here. So I think making this thinner will achieve that. I might do a dart along the inside here to kind of give it that shape. But yeah, I think we're looking pretty good. Time to go shopping. Let's do it. Okay, I'm back from the store. I got the seam ripper. I can only find one that came in a pack with a thing, but okay. Got one of these. I got a little mailbox. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but it made me very happy, so I grabbed it. And got Walmart parking lot tamales. So yeah, we're good to go. Let's have back at it. Seam ripping is one of my least favorite things. If you have a good sturdy material, you can just pull the two pieces of fabric apart and it'll just rip the seams for you. But I'm working with flannel and fleece. All right. Look at this guy. It looks nice and clean, right? Like, can't be that bad. Oh, wait, I have to unlock this thing. Can't be that dirty. Actually, it's not that bad. Maybe it was my bobbin pressure. Okay, well, we'll see if it was just the bobbin pressure, because I refilled the bobbin. Yeah, that's what it should look like when we sew. Perfect. I'd love to tell you that fixed it and my machine worked perfectly after that, but you should know that I'm not the type of person that those things happen to. Look at that. Oh my gosh, guys, we got the very separate front. We got the smaller shape in it. It's perfect. It's friggin' perfect. Let me stuff it, see if I like how we're looking without adding the back seam. Because yeah, if I were to add a seam, it would be like right here, just kind of on the inside, just to give it that ultimate like rounded back. But I'm not sure if that'll kind of ruin the softness I got going on with it, you know? try a couple things.
So then I did the very meticulous little back stitch to try to give it shape, and guess what?
It did nothing to the overall shape, so I'm gonna unstitch it, not put it in the other ear, fix this little rounded bit up here and then I'll try and make the other ear as symmetrical to this one as we can. Oh, we got pretty symmetrical little ears. That second one went so much easier after we got all the kinks ironed out in the first one. Thanks for tuning in. Just kidding, guys. I do need to go change the battery in my camera, though. I'm willing to bet most of my patterns are going to need minor adjustments like these. I'm going to update my patterns as I change them as well, like my physical paper patterns.
The ears were actually one of the harder parts to sew physically because they were not made out of felt.
So it looks like I had my measuring a little bit off on this one. This guy's longer than the foot is. I don't know if I actually ever measured that, though, or if I just kind of hoped for the best, so all things considered, I think it turned out pretty good.
So when I sewed the feet the first time, I had it sewn all the way up the top, but I figured that having the hole all the way on the back of the foot would put the center of gravity way too far back, and I think I was right.
The little foot! Oh my gosh, it's turning out so good. Okay, I figured out how to stitch this one. It's gonna sew in here, and then we'll have just a little bit there. I'm really hoping with his big feet and his, if I stuff him good with these proportions, I'm hoping he'll stand up. This is turning out so good. Okay.
When I made these feet, they seemed a little bit large, but I hadn't made the torso yet at that point, so I wasn't sure what size the final thing would be, so I just kind of kept with it.
E. I haven't seen the torso size yet, but I get the feeling these arms are going to be a little too long, so we'll deal with that when we get to it.
So the thing is, if I had changed the arm size, then they would have been probably a little closer to the right proportion at this point, but I didn't know that because it's a first draft.
Cut off this little bit of excess because I'm going to go take it over to my pattern and use it to trim off how much I need from the pattern. So the pattern's up to date. So E.
So with the feet and the arms done, I went into the head shape. If you'll remember, I had these 4 panels. I didn't know if that would be enough. It did end up being a good size, although I kind of wonder how it would have looked if I had done a 5th panel. I considered it. Maybe I should have gone back and done it, but at this point, it's already done, so live and learn, I guess.
I need to sew these two shapes like together, like this one kind of bunching in around this one. So to achieve that, I've just gone around this one. It's kind of hard to see, but I've done a basting stitch, which just means I can kind of crumple it up on there and just kind of make it the length it needs to be. So that's how we're doing that. Hope it works.
So if you don't know, a basting stitch is just a very loose stitch, so the fabric can kind of move along it. That being said, if you have a basting stitch that goes on a corner, it has a very hard time pulling on that. The middle one of these spikes would not work with the basting stitch, so I kind of just had to crumple it into place by hand. Worked out pretty well, though.
It gave the entire thing this kind of curved in shape. So let's turn it inside out and see if it looks anything like what I was hoping it would. That was a pain of a sew, but I think it might have actually worked. There's one, and we're definitely curving. This is exciting, oh my gosh. I think it actually worked. Let's see. I really wasn't sure whether this idea would work, but in theory, you know, if you want it to curve, you need more in the back than you got in the front, and yeah, I think we might have... Oh, come on, you. I don't have a stuffing stick. I should have a stuffing stick just on standby at all times. Things like this. But yeah, I need to turn it back inside out anyway to sew it in, but yeah, it's a weird little shape, but there it is. This is a little thin, this middle one here, so I might just re-sew this one line to kind of give it a bit more like peak to it. If it looks like that's a sew that I can do pretty easily. Yeah, there we go. Let's put it in the skull. It's beautiful.
Now, sewing one shape inside another like this is actually a pretty easy thing to do when you do it the right way, but it has been a long time since I have done it, and I did not do it the right way, so it was not the most successful little sew, this one.
I don't have a stuffing stick, but I have a knife, so it's good enough, right? Let's see if this sew is okay. It was a pain. This guy attaching the top to the skull here. It does not look 100%. It's not the best sew I've ever done, but also my machine's giving me crap today, so
But also I was thinking of doing this as like a test one and then doing a real one in Minky, but there's no way I can do this type of sewing in Minky. I can barely do it in felt, and felt's one of the easiest things to sew. No, this is felt. I'm using felt. Okay, I put this on terribly, so I need to redo this. Do I? I don't know, it's kind of the shape I'm going for, but not quite. Yeah, so it's this part, the back, like the entire back needs to come down like an inch. Kind of like that. Give it kind of that kind of look. This looks awful. This looks really bad. It's horrendous. This looks like nothing. Okay, I need to figure something else out. You know when you get to the point in a project, I'm gonna call it the ugly phase, the part where you've gone so far and you're ready for it to start looking good, but it just does not look good yet and you're ready to give up. Believe it or not, we're not to that point yet. Hey, ain't not bad. Ain't not bad.
Not bad?
Not bad. Cool, so we're gonna do the same thing we did to kind of pull this in. Gosh, what is it called? The basting stitch? We're going to do that around the neck here, because I don't think I like this idea. I think I like the dart idea better, and that gives it a better kind of height. So yeah, we're going to dart around the neck to attach it to the torso. First we got to make the torso, so let's do that. Now we start getting into the ugly phase. So I need to go cut out more torso pieces, so let's go do that. So I went and I cut out new torso pieces that didn't have a stomach hole in them, and then I sewed in the darts, and then I put the pieces together and really tried to figure out how I was supposed to sew them together, but having them in your hands is a little different than having them on paper. How I thought this body was supposed to work. I think maybe this is... This would be where the front piece connects to the back piece. I don't know what this shape is for. I think it's to try to make it curved. Well, we'll try it. We'll sew it together and see if it works, but I'm not feeling like it's gonna work super well. At this point, you probably know that I should have trusted my gut and known that it wasn't going to work out, but had to see for myself, and this looks like absolute garbage. It looks like I've made a mouth here. Actually had some googly eyes just throw on him. Yeah, this looks really bad. This definitely needs to be like going inwards, not outwards. I don't even know what to do to make it go inwards like that. What did I do wrong here? Because theoretically that should be the correct shape, but then here this needs to go in. Why did this happen? Because this was the one part of the shape that I thought should be pretty straightforward, should just kind of work out. Okay, I'll mess with it. At this point, I genuinely considered just calling the project a bust, giving up on it, but I'd already done 2 daily draws saying I was going to do it, and I really wanted to hug my little ochao plushie. I figured it out. So I went and made a new pattern for the torso that actually made a bit of sense shape-wise. We got our new pattern drafted. Here are our new torso pieces. Hopefully this idea works better. Also, I forgot he has a tail, so here's the tail. I'm still not certain why exactly the first torso didn't work, because in essence, the inset stomach part is still the same. And this time I just had it be one full circle instead of 2 halves that I sewed together after getting the tummy inset. Okay, this part's looking better at least, so let's add our darts into here. I wasn't sure if I wanted to add darts here and here, so I didn't. So we'll sew it together, see if it's sitting round, and if it's not, then we'll add more darts. So pattern-wise, what we've ended up with on the torso is essentially just a bag that has strategic darts placed in it. From the front here, we're nice and round, but from the side, we're like really flat compared to the amount here. So we're gonna add the darts in here and just wait and see. These are some of the only darts my sewing machine was able to do. Made our front a little shorter and our sides a little longer. So overall gives us a more rounded little shape. Yay! I think I'm gonna round these corners in a little bit. Let me stuff it. Let's stuff it and see. Felt is one of those fabrics that shows any little mistakes you make, but this is a plushie for me. I don't care if he's got mistakes in him. I just want to give it a hug, so. Okay, we just gotta sew the tail and the wings and then put all the pieces together and we're good. I got my pep back up now that I got a torso that works, and the wings were a really easy little sew since it's just a flat shape, and the tail was just a basting stitch that I pulled together to make it into a fluffy little circle.
We've got all of the pieces done. We can check and see if our proportions are anywhere near anything. Yeah, look at this. Oh, he's got feet. Oh, he's got big feet. Okay, we'll see. We'll see how garbage it looks when it's done. Because maybe I might make him new feet that are not as big if this is really like a problem. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it looks. However, I don't know, actually. That's about right. I think if we kind of sew it in a little bit, like, yeah, I think our proportions are pretty good. We'll see. We'll see how it looks. I do need to find, though, if you'll notice on my pattern, I had myself make extras of these for the hands. One, that is for like reinforcing them. Two, I'm gonna put magnets in them so he can hold on to props. I can make little things for him. But that means I need to go look through my crap and find my magnets. So that might take a second. So give me a second. Okay, so I found one alkaline magnet and one chunky magnet that's way less strong and also chunky, but he's gonna have mismatched magnets because that's what I can find right now.
So I was getting ready to sew, and
These hands I didn't put seam allowance on, so they're not gonna fit, so I need to cut different ones that fit, and then I can put the magnets in, and then I can sew it together. Okay, let's do that.
this method of putting the magnet inside the hand like this is not what I usually do, because I'm used to making pony plushies. The magnets don't go in the hands, and those guys, they go in the mouth.
Get the basting stitch around the neck, and then that should be the last bit of machine sewing we do. The rest of it will be hand sewn.
So I did machine sew the basting stitch onto the head, but probably because there were so many layers in the darts, I was not able to pull it, so I ended up just doing the basting stitch while I was hand sewing. I also tried to add a dart into the top of the head. I'm still not sure what to call that part, but it did not work because of the sewing machine acting up, so I just kind of gave up on that. And with that, it was time to stuff the head.
Got the basting stitch around the neck, so body's ready to attach. I think we might do a basting stitch up here just to kind of help this shape out a little bit. If I hadn't already stuffed it, I'd go in and do more darts. Also, if my sewing machine was acting better, I'm gonna take it apart completely and clean it out like real well later. But for now, let's start sewing his body together.
So you know how art people own like a million different paints and colored pencils and markers and whatever? I'm a crafting person. I have all sorts of sewing tools, so I had a curved needle that I could have used for this, and that is what would have been best, but I just moved, so I have no idea where it is.
We've got a head and a torso, and the proportions look okay. He's coming together. That being said, sun's going down. I haven't eaten. I'm gonna take a break. I'll come back to it in a second. Alright, it is the next day. I know what I would need to do to fix the top here. There are definitely some things I'm going to change on the pattern for next time, but for now, we're going to just finish him up. So I'm going to take him over to the living room to do that, because then I can sit on the couch. Okay, let's do it.
Don't mind the state of my house. I'm in the middle of moving. I could have just taken the shot out, but I didn't.
I don't know if you can see this needle, or if the camera won't even pick it up because it's such a tiny, thin little monstrosity. But yeah, this I can't even keep its shape because it's so flimsy. I'm gonna go find a better needle.
I still wasn't able to find any of my curved needles, which is what would have been ideal for this, but I did find a good, sturdy, like thick, straight needle, so that worked out pretty well.
Hey, now normally I wouldn't be sewing on arms and maybe legs. I'm not sure about legs, but arms at least I would sew on from inside before I stuffed and put everything together. Normally I would sew everything I could together before I, turned it inside out and stuffed it. But, and if like I said, there are things I'll do differently on the next one. If I make another one, I might just be happy with this guy. Maybe I'll make my brother's chow as a apology for calling him out on the internet.
If I do make my brother's chow, I'll do it as a birthday gift for him, so hopefully he's not watching this video. Don't want to ruin the surprise.
So I'm gonna need to get my sewing machine working because the arms when they're not stuffed, you know, I can kind of scooch them nice and put them in place and go, oh, look at that, that's an okay size. But they're kind of big, so I might need to, well, yeah, they're big, they're real big. Let me finish stuffing them up and kind of put them together with the body and see if the size is okay or if I need to fix them.
Honestly, considering I freehanded drawing the pattern for this plushie, I'm amazed anything was in proportion. But yeah, I stuffed all of the pieces up so I could kind of hold them in place together and compare it all, see if the proportions looked good. And I liked how they looked, so I just started sewing them on.
My thread just broke. That's not a good thing. So we're gonna do another layer around on this, even though it was already pretty well attached, just to be sure that we have a layer that's actually tied in place to kind of support the layer I just did of thread. So it's a pain, but it's looking pretty good.
Honestly, I probably should have tried to find a better spool of thread as well, because this wasn't the first or last time that I had the thread break on me. If you'll notice, I actually sewed the neck on more this time around, even though I'd already sewn it the previous day. That's because when I was tying it off, it broke. So even though I technically had like one thread that was fine through the whole thing, I figured it's better safe than sorry. Hand sewing really is a meticulous process because you really have to be sure that you put enough stitches in to make sure that things are actually supported and sturdy. I like moving my needle through the inside of the plushie when I'm going between the parts, so it's one long piece of thread instead of multiple short pieces of thread, because for me, I think every time you tie the thread off is a time that you can mess up tying the thread off or not tie it off well enough, and it's an end that can easily come undone.
We're not done yet, but a couple things. First of all, proportions were correct. Second of all, the ears aren't on yet, so we might get top heavy, but right now he's so excited. Okay, I do need to go to school, and I don't want to be sewing him in the hallways at school, so I'm gonna leave him right here on the couch. Hopefully neither of my boys attack him while we're gone. Who would do that? Neither of you would ever do that, would you? Anyway, we're almost done, but we'll finish up in, what, like 5 hours? Alright, we are back from school. This is gonna be our final recording session. We just gotta finish sewing on his ears, and then we gotta give him a face, and then we can finally give the boy a hug. Let's do it!
I would like it stated for the record that I absolutely do have the ability to sew both of the ears going upwards. In fact, I spent a lot of time while attaching the ears, not only to make sure they'd be stable, but that they were in the exact position I wanted. I did want them purposely lopsided because it gives him kind of the asymmetrical look to go with his asymmetrical top. Kind of balances him out.
Okay. He just needs a face. I was thinking we were gonna Sharpie one on, but now I'm thinking I'll either embroider one or we'll do some out of felt and sew it on. So I'm gonna go mess around with that, see which option we like better. Let's do it.
So I had this brown felt that I thought might be good to do his eyes in. I was hoping I had a different brown, which is a little darker, closer to like a charcoal, but I couldn't find that one. And this brown offset his blue too much. It just didn't look good with his design, so I tried doing the blue eyes and then gave him little cheeks, and it was perfect.
Hey, I've decided we're going with the sewn on felt route. I think I like the cheeks. I wish I had a darker pink, but I wished that for the inside of his ears too, so all things considered, I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, we're gonna go back out to the couch, hand sew the face on, and then we're done.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, dude.
So you know what I've decided? After watching 19-year-olds, it's a lot more fun to have a positive attitude.
Heck yeah.
Going into things, I think. Yeah, you're totally right. It just needed to be toned down. It's way better now. Doesn't it look like almost a different drawing?
Heck yeah.
Thank you for... No, you put his face on!
I still need to sew it on, but...
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm still doing real time. Oops.
Oh.
That's okay. Cute. You wanna get off my spot, buddy?
So I do actually have like an embroidery machine, but I couldn't embroider the face on with this pattern the way it was. If I do a second draft of this pattern, I'll make it embroiderable. I probably also could have just hot glued these pieces in place, but I don't like hot gluing my pieces in place because there's way more of a chance they're gonna fall off than if you sew them in, you know? And it makes the texture weird underneath. You know, with this, if I decided I wanted to change his facial expression, I could just take this face out and put another one on. In fact, I might want to give him his big old goofy toothy smile at some point, because I forget if the original Chow had the big smile face or if he had the little smile. I know I draw him mostly with the little one, but honestly, before this project, it had been quite a while since I'd last drawn him. Huh, babes? So babes has decided it's cuddle time right now. I have the cheeks to put on his face, and then he's done. But I guess I'm taking a quick break because, look at his little face. How could I say no to that? Oh, sweetie dee. Would you believe it if I said that while recording right now, I've had a hard time being able to, because the boys are manic and can you hear them fighting over there? Boys. 1, 2, 3 stitches left. And Babus keeps biting my arm every time I try to start sewing. Yeah. You ashamed of yourself, Babs? No, it's not. I have 3 stitches left and Babus won't let me do it. You ready? 1 stitch, 2 stitch, a 3rd stitch that's gonna end way over here because I need to tie it off and no. No.
8th stitch.
No more stitches.
The 29th stitch.
No, that was it.
That's it?
Yeah, I'm just...
No more stitches?
Well, 1 more stitch.
And
then 1 more for good measure.
1 more for
And
good
then
measure.
we're tying it.
And then we're tying
And we're tying it.
Oh yes, we are tying it.
And that's that.
Oh. Ready? Oh, he's perfect.
You want to give him a hug?
Yeah.
He's so soft. Oh, he's the perfect size.
He sure is.
Here, look at him. He's gonna be the master of chow races. Gonna run so fast with his tiny little feet. He's so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. That is so cute. You made that.
Man,
That existed a few days ago.
he did not. Right here he is. And the best news of all, he can hold the scissors. He can wield a knife while you were busy being heterosexual. Ochao study to the blade. You can't hold the scissors, they're kind of heavy. And this one's alkaline, you should be able to hold the scissors. Wait, give me a second. Scissors. Oh, he's perfect. Do you like him, Keith, or do you just want food? Should have guessed.
Do you like him, babies? I forgot to mention it because I'm a dummy and the lighting's completely different because it's way later now, but don't worry about that. But look, he stands! He can stand! Ah! He's perfect. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for everyone who supported me so my life is to a point that I could spend the last 3 days making myself a little ochao plushie. If you want to see more content like this, then please subscribe. I'll be doing daily draws every single day and videos like this whenever I have time and ideas to do them. Let me know if you want to see more chow. I'm considering making my brother's little chow. I would modify the head pattern a little bit, and I might actually finish the pattern out and make it available for download. If that's something you're interested in, please let me know. If there are other things you'd like to see me make, please let me know. And again, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see y'all in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.